Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Today is July 15th, it's a Thursday, so hopefully your trading week has gone well so far, everybody. My name is Becky, my email address there is becky@tradictive.com, so that's how you can get hold of me. There's also this link here which I'll go through in a second. Before we do that, let's just cover the disclaimers. There they are, they're being highlighted at the top of the page there. Of course, important that you understand the disclaimers from a legal perspective, and also to understand that these videos are demonstrations. It's up to you whether you ignore them, take them on board, or something in between. Okay, so I said very quickly that we'd take a look at this link. Let me just take you there. For those that don't already have a free Trade with UFOs membership, this is where you can go to get it. So it's tradewithufos.com/Becky. You fill in your details at the top and you follow the steps. With that free membership, you'll get recordings of the sessions that we do, reminders for the sessions that we do. This 3D market commentary that I'm about to go through, you'll get that emailed to you every day as well. And what you'll get is down here, you'll be able to ask questions in a public setting. Now what's good about that, and what I'd rather you guys do, is if you ask questions in a public setting, we can answer it in a public setting. So everybody learns from that same place. Everybody learns from questions that other students are asking. So if you scroll down a bit, you can see questions that people have asked before and the answers attached. So if you do that too, then you're doing somebody else the favour later down the line to do that. Also from this link, if you'd like to, you can book one-on-one coaching directly with me. Okay, so let's have a look at our 3D market commentary and the markets that they represent. So our 3D market commentary, every day we send out an email with information on 5 major world markets. Now these are 5 major world markets on a daily chart. So of course different things happen on different time frames. These things are relevant to daily charts. We call it a 3D approach because we look at 3 separate elements. So first one is market climate. Market climate means where's the upcoming market direction? Essentially, where do we have probability? Up, down, or nowhere, basically. And we use an app for this. It's a free app. This app here, it's called AutoClimate. AutoClimate is a free app, and with this app, it will tell us in terms of the coloured dots where we have probabilities. For example, thick red dot would tell us we have probability downwards, meaning we should look to sell. Thick blue dot would tell us probability upwards, meaning we should look to buy. And thin dots of either colour, they tell us not enough probability either way, do nothing. So we use technology to answer that question for us in a very straightforward way. We should look to sell, look to buy, or look to do nothing. And as I said, AutoClimate on most platforms is a free app. So once you've got your free Trade with UFOs membership, you can download AutoClimate for free and help you answer that question on any market. Do I buy, sell, or do nothing? Once you've then figured that out, it's figuring out where are you going to buy, where are you going to sell, specifically where are you placing your entries and exits. This is what we use another app for. It's called AutoUFOs. AutoUFOs, we have green UFOs. They tell us where we have buy unfilled orders. That's what UFO stands for, unfilled orders. So we have buy orders in green UFOs. Basically, there's lots of buying going on between those prices, and it tells us the prices specifically on the right hand side. Now why is that important? Because if there's lots of buying going on there, then we want to buy with other buyers, much more likely to push price up. If we want to sell, then we sell with the red UFOs, because that's where there's lots of sellers, and again it tells us the prices specifically on the right hand side. So if we want to sell where there's lots of other sellers. It's much more likely to push price down. So we use AutoUFOs to help us figure out exactly where we're going to buy and sell. Now AutoUFOs is a paid for app. It depends on which platform you use as to how much it is. On TradingView, which is the one I'm using right here, it's $34 per month. Okay, then we want to look at market volatility, which is upcoming change in speed. How far is price going to move up or down within given periods of time, more or less. So that's what we'll look at for each of our 5 major world markets, and we will start with the S&P 500, or the ES. So the ES is the futures contract that represents the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is a basket of the top 500 US stocks. Essentially, we're looking at a representation of US stocks. That's what we're looking at here. So for the S&P, we have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot here, probability upwards. Now usually this market would go up for 9 candles. I'm just rounding that up. Would normally go up for 9 candles, and we're on candle number 17. So nearly gone twice as far as what is usual in terms of a move to the upside. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to change, it just means that it's a little bit overextended. When it's overextended, obviously it decreases the probability of it going up and increases the probability of it changing direction. However, for the time being, probability still overall up. Now we also have, in terms of buy and sell UFOs, we have a UFO here at 4248.25 to 4205.75. That's our closest stack of buy orders. So we have buy orders beneath us, probability upwards with the climate. It is overextended, so bear that in mind, but overall probability upwards there for the S&P. Now when it comes to volatility, we'd expect that in a year it would go up or down of 17.37%, which means in a day up or down of 47.66 points, in a week up or down of 104.93 points, in a month it would be 218 points and 218.42 points up or down. That's the movement that we would expect. So that's the S&P. Let's just move on now to the next market, which is oil. Now whilst I load it, it says up here about courses that we do and browsing for the courses that we do. We do courses in futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans, psychology. So depending on which obviously suits you best, you can go and check that out on our website. Now the best thing about them is that they come, or a lot of them, come with 3-month complimentary access to the apps. So you can subscribe directly to the apps if you want. You can subscribe directly to AutoUFOs, depending on the platform you use, depends on its cost. Like I said, for TradingView it's $34 per month. It'd be slightly more on other platforms. However, if you do a course that's $34 as a one-off price, and you get 3 months complimentary access to the UFOs, hopefully you can work out the maths there. That of course that's a cheaper way of accessing the apps. Even if you did a course that was a one-off fee of $89, same thing, you'd still get cheaper access to the apps just by taking a course. So you get more for less, if that makes sense. Okay, so oil, we have a confirmed downwards climate. We have a thick red dot here, probability downwards. Usually this market would go down for 7 candles. Again, I'm just rounding that up. And we're on candle number 1. Meaning that based on what usually happens, we're likely to see it continue down at least for a little while. Obviously not guaranteed, but more likely. Now, we don't have any sell UFOs just yet. We might see them form over the next couple of days. In the meantime, we have a buy order here at 68.87 to 65.25. Now, it's actually already worked in pushing price up a couple of times. That's what we expect buy UFOs to do, is push price upwards, and that's exactly what it's already done. That's why we want to know where they are. That's why we want an app to show us the prices. Now, depending on what happens when we get here, if we have a confirmed downwards climate, which we're likely to have, and we have then buy orders coming in, we'd start to have a fight between the two. But for the time being, we've still got a little bit of room there. So overall, probability down with oil. Now, in 1 year, we'd expect it to move up or down of 38.2%, which means up or down in a day would be 1.74 points up or down. In a week, it would be 3.83 points up or down. In a month, 7.97 points up or down. And that's what we'd expect in terms of movement up or down on oil over those periods of time. Okay, so moving on to the next market, which is gold. Now, whilst I load gold, it says here about coaching and support. Of course, we do a lot of coaching on YouTube and Facebook for free, so of course you can join us there, guys. And we also have, of course, a closed coaching environment where you can join us in a more closed environment for more time than what we do for free on other platforms, and that is $21 per month. So just so you know how that works as well. Okay, so with gold, we have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot, probability upwards. Now usually this market would go up for 7 candles. Again, I'm rounding that up, and we're on candle number 7. So kind of come to the end of what would be a usual move upwards. That's not to say that it can't continue. We know that. We saw that on the S&P earlier. Of course, you can go past what's normal. Of course, you can fall short of what is normal. That's how we get an average in between, right? But if we've come to the end of what would be a normal move to the upside, perhaps just bear that in mind when thinking of trading. Now, another thing to think of here is that we have buy orders just beneath us at 1819.5 to 1750.1, but sell orders just above us at 1866 to 1804.4. So we have selling pressure coming in here, we have buying pressure, let's use a different color, coming in here, and we have buying pressure coming in from the auto climate. So overall, probability up there still, but different factors going off against each other. I personally would keep out of it and see which side wins before I get on board with that. Otherwise, kind of guessing between which side is gonna break this. Is the overextended climate going to win with this UFO, or is the overextended climate going to lose with this UFO? We don't know. So in which case, I would say keep away, change time frame, change market, come back tomorrow and see what it looks like. Okay. Now, with volatility, we expect in 1 year for it to move up or down of 14.79%, which means in a day up or down of 17.03 points, in a week 37.49 points up or down, and in a month up or down of 78.05 points. So that's what we'd expect in terms of movement on gold. So let's move on to the next market, which is the US dollar. Now, the US dollar is responsible for about 80% of transactions worldwide every single day. So whether you trade it or not, be aware of it. It's going to impact loads of other markets, all of the ones we look at, and obviously more as well. So with the US dollar, we have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot, probability upwards. Normally this market would go up for 4.71 candles, so 5 candles, rounding that up, and we are on candle number 2. So again, based on what usually happens, still got room there to move to the upside. Now, in terms of UFOs, again, kind of close together here, but we have buy orders here at 92.42 to 92.075. Price has already hit them and gone up a little bit, so it's already on its way out of those buy UFOs. We do have sell orders just above us at 93.005 to 92.84. Now, those have already worked. Price came in, hit the sell orders, and went down from there. It's exactly what we expect to happen when price hits sell orders, which is why we want to know where they are, so that tells us where we should be selling. So with this, we have buy orders beneath, sell orders just above, overall probability upwards. So I wouldn't be surprised to see price move up a little bit again until it hits those sell orders, and then it will be interesting to see what happens there. But for the time being, still a little bit of movement to move to the upside, I would say. Now, what that means in terms of volatility, we have a yearly expectation up or down of 5.49%. So in a day, 0.32 points up or down. In a week, 0.7 points up or down. And in 1 month, 1.46 points up or down. So that's the US dollar. Now, let's check out the last market, which is backed Bitcoin. Now, as I load that, there are ways that you can self-schedule clarification calls, speak to one of our experts about the different courses, the different apps, different markets, different memberships, and see what one is going to suit you better, if any. So you can self-schedule a clarification call there. Now, with Bitcoin, we have a confirmed downwards climate, thick red dot. Now, this market is relatively new, which means we don't actually have enough data yet to say what it usually does. Does it usually move up for a certain amount of time, usually move down for a certain amount of time? We don't know. It's not old enough, we don't have the data to say. So kind of in the dark there on that, but what we do know is that we do have a confirmed downwards climate. Now, sell orders we have up here at 39,295 to 37,460. We have buy orders here at 27,782.5 to 22,910. And we're kind of in the middle there. So for the time being, what's pushing it down here is our climate, confirmed climate to the downside, pushing Bitcoin down. Okay, so in terms of volatility, in a year, we'd expect movement up or down of 83.96 points. So in a day, that would be up or down of 1,699.48 points up or down. In a week, it would be 3,741.24 up or down. And in a month, 7,788.01 up or down. So that's Bitcoin. So that's the last of the market. So like I said, you can schedule a clarification call. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. Just before we finish, I just want to highlight here our weekly economic calendar. We get it from FX Street, and we filter by high impact news. Basically, we want to look at scheduled news reports that are likely to make an impact on the markets, likely to cause a bit of volatility, just so that you can be aware of that as a trader. Now, we're looking at most major markets. You can again filter this. If you go to that link, you can filter this by whichever markets you want to look at. Now, today being Thursday the 15th, we had some news coming out sort of early in the morning US time on the pound. We'll have some news coming out very soon on the US dollar, and then later on today in the evening, New Zealand dollar and Japanese yen. So be aware of those if you trade those markets. If not, no worries. But if you do, then you've obviously got that information there, which may help you decide what to trade, when to trade, how much to trade. Okay, so any questions? I would prefer it, if you can, to come to tradewithufos.com/Becky. Get yourself a free Trade with UFOs membership at the top, and then you can come down here and ask a question in this public setting. That way I can answer it in a public setting, and everybody wins, everybody learns. So that's ideally. If not, of course, you can email me, becky@tradictive.com. So that's me done today. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow to go through this market commentary tomorrow, and I'll also have a stock session tomorrow as well, so I'll see you a couple of times tomorrow. If you have anything in the meantime, like I said, you can reach out to us. Otherwise, I hope you have a great trading day, and I'll see you guys